Learning Stuff from Mr. Excel Podcast, episode 2001. Pivot table Y count. Hey, I'll be podcasting this whole book. Go click that I in the top right-hand corner to see the playlist. Hey, welcome back to the Mr. Excel Netcast. I'm Bill Jelen. All right, so it happens every single time. I'm in front of a room full of accountants. I'm doing my Power Excel seminar, and I start to talk about pivot tables. And I do insert, pivot table, OK, put any field down the left-hand side, and then I check mark revenue, and mine gets a sum and goes to the right place. And someone will invariably raise their hand and say, whoa, wait a second, that never works for me. I always get a count. Why am I getting a count? I say, look, it comes down to one of two reasons. It's always one of two reasons. Reason number one, you have some empty cells. There's some data that you don't have. There's either text there or empty cells. And we'll create a pivot table from this product and revenue. First off, the revenue goes to the wrong place. If you would drag it to the right place, you get a count, right? Instead of it being $6.7 million, you're a $559 company, all right? So the solution, if that's your problem, and in most cases it's not, is to select all of the cells that should be numeric, like this, and then home, find and select, go to special, choose the blanks, or if your problem is text, choose the text, click OK. Now all the blanks are selected, 0, and Ctrl+Enter to fill those in. Now insert pivot table, OK, check mark product, check mark revenue, and everything will work perfectly. All right, but here's the reason why most people run into this problem, is they've been taught somewhere along the way, and I appreciate the person that taught this to you, to not select one cell in the data, but to choose all of the data, right? And they're doing that because they know that you're going to be adding more data next month or next year or something like that, and they don't want you to go through the horribly painful, awful, terrible process of clicking change data source and specifying the extra rows. I know that's like 1, 2, 3, 6 clicks of hell, right? So because of that, you're getting counts instead of sums. Let's stop doing that and do this. First, let's take a pivot table, create the pivot table just from a single cell. Insert, pivot table, OK. Put whatever you need to put in the pivot table, products and revenue. I'm even going to add the date field in here across the top. And you see very nicely, Excel 2016 has summarized that down to years for me. I'm going to leave that there. OK, so now you have your pivot table. Everything is great. You now want to add more data. At this point, we do Ctrl+T, which is format as a table. It applies some formatting. If you hate the formatting, you just go back to light and everything is good. I'm going to leave the formatting there, though. And I want to show you at the very end of the data, at the end of the table, is this beautiful little angle icon that is called the end of table marker. End of table marker. So now that pivot table knows that it's all the data down to the end of table marker. We get some more data. Oh, here's some more data for next year. Take that data, copy the data, Control+C, Control page up to go to the previous sheet, and then watch the end of table marker. When I paste, it's going to move. It now becomes there. All right. So now anything that was based on this table now is pointing to more cells. Has the pivot table changed? No, not yet. But if we refresh, just simply do a refresh, don't have to go in and do the 6 clicks under change data source, we get the extra data appearing. We went from 6.7 million up to 6.9 million. All right, so the title here is Why Pivot Count, and it is because of empty cells, which we can fix with go to special blanks 0 Control+Enter, but more likely it's because you're selecting the whole columns when you originally created the pivot table. By using tables, Ctrl+T, it solves the problem. Well, hey, I want to encourage you to go out and buy this book. It has all of these tips. It'll be a great cross-reference to this whole series of 60 podcasts in August and September. Recap, in a perfect world, numeric fields will sum in a pivot table. Why do they sometimes count? It's either empty or text cells, which you do with go to special blank 0 Control+Enter, or you're selecting the whole column, and you're doing that so you can have more data later. Control+T to the rescue. That end of table marker shows you where the end of data is. Well, hey, I want to thank you for stopping by. We'll see you next time for another netcast from Mr. Excel.